Let's move to the next team because it's about to start. So let's quickly run through a couple of teams that are left with Hyderabad. Brilliant retentions there as well. You look at that and you go, geez, that's got champion written all over it. Nitish Reddy with 6 crores, and you've seen him do well in the test match. Abhishek Sharma just knows one way to play, and that's the way you want to play, especially in Hyderabad, in the IPL, in T20 cricket. Travis Head, then captain Pat Cummins and Heinrich Klaasen, which obviously leaves them with not too much money. That's probably the only concern for them. They have one RTM available. That's it. But
that's an uncapped RTM.
For an uncapped player.
And they're uncapped. They don't have too many great uncapped options remaining from the players they had originally. So.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. Do they have anyone?
No.
Not really. I mean, their buyback options.
I mean, they can go Abdul Samad again, and you can go. Rahul Tripathi is capped as well. Mayank Agarwal is capped. Yeah. All their bowlers are capped. Unadkat, Bhuvi, Natarajan, they're all capped. The only one they could go for is Abdul Samad. But I think they've given him a fairly long rope. See, they spent a lot of money, GK, but look at who they've got. They've got one of the world's best finishers. They've got one of the most fearsome openers. They've got a young kid, Abhishek Sharma, who was very good for them. I just hope that the tracks this year support them because the pitches are not like that. They're not batting like that. They've got a good captain who might be tired because remember, he's also got to go and win a series in Sri Lanka after this one. But they've got a captain there, and they've got one of the brightest young talents in India in Nitish Reddy. So they've got a core to build around. Much like Mumbai Indians, they've got to be very smart in the auction and look for bargain picks.
Yeah, then they've actually let go of a player who I'm a big fan of, and I think he'll get a few bids as well. That's Glenn Phillips, because with the kind of bowling that he's done, and you saw him do so much bowling in India and then in Sri Lanka, he's a proper all-rounder with the spin that he's been.
I think Glenn Phillips is one of those guys who Marco Jansen, Glenn Phillips are going to go for a lot of money. I mean, they may not be among the 2 marquee picks, but I think people are going to hold back money and say that those guys are available on day 2 as well. And that's the point. You see, one of the things I believe in is that very rarely do you find a player who's so different that you pay serious amounts of money for him and you don't need to pay. You can pay a differential. Say there was to be a Lasith Malinga. Lasith Malinga was at a level where he was just totally different. But for the rest, you buy a player for 500,000, you're likely to get an equally good player. Or 2 crores, 3 crores, 4 crores, 5 crores, you'll get another good player for that price. And that's my point, that the differential is always there.
Is this the end? We've seen a long and fruitful relationship with Bhuvi and Hyderabad. Do you think this is this a bump in that relationship, them not retaining him, or is this the end of the road there?
Look, Bhuvi is not the player that he was. Bhuvi is still a very good IPL level bowler, but he wasn't the bowler that he was. But you're absolutely right. There was a very strong relationship with David Warner that ended. But you think SRH, you think Bhuvi, because Bhuvi's just been there. Even in their glory years, when they were qualifying every year, 16, 17, 18, it was Bhuvi and the bowlers who were playing such a big part. They'll be happy to buy him back, I think. Because I'm not sure Bhuvi is going to break the bank down. And at the stage he is in his career, he'll be happy to take what he gets. He'll get a decent bid. I won't be surprised if they buy him back at SRH.
I still think if you take his first 2 overs, he's one of the best first 2 over bowlers in the country, in the league still.
Yeah.
The first 2 overs, he can still make that ball talk. He's not that good in that remaining over or coming back in the death. But the first 2 overs, he can still do something for you. See, you'll see a lot of picks like that. Look, for whatever it is, why is 43-year-old Jimmy Anderson in the auction? Because somebody has actually put his name there. 5,000 names are there. So some team has to turn around and say that, no, I want you. And they could be a team who's turning around and saying that, you know what, you'll probably play 1 or 2 matches for us. That's it. In conditions that are very suitable. What I really want you to do is mentor my young fast bowlers. Teach them a little bit about how to do this away swing. So I want you there in the dressing room. You'll play in this pitch, we are at the Wankhede, you might just play. That's the kind of place where you get something. You're at Kolkata, we might play, but no, the rest, you're not going to play 14 matches for us. And I think that also might happen a little bit with Bhuvi. Guys pick him and say, okay, you're going to bowl 2 overs. That's definite. After that, we'll see what happens. We've got enough bowlers.
It's so interesting you say that. One of the teams has obviously picked his name and put it there. But can't they just bring him in as support staff after? If you want him to mentor, right? Can't you just bring him in as support staff, Harsha? Because
Are you
he's
talking
foreign
Anderson?
sports.
You're
Yes.
talking Anderson.
Yes.
I've heard a story going around that it might be yellow.
Ah.
He's the right age.
Is he uncapped?
No, you said it now, not me. You said it now, not me. But it would be just like CSK to tell Jimmy Anderson, to come here. We'll use you maybe 2 or 3 games, depending on how the situation goes. He hasn't played a T20 game since he was a teenager, I think. With whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, he hasn't played a T20 game in a long time.
For 10 years, I think they will use him in that role. It would be very CSK to call Jimmy Anderson, make him feel very good, wanted, and say, can you help us with our young bowlers?
I like that thought. It could happen.